Hi and welcome to another episode of RickabyTV, designed to demystify the world of accounts and tax and to help your business grow. Now, starting with a question this episode, which is, what have you done about auto-enrolment? It's the subject that we've covered before on RickabyTV, and so it's the first time we've ever repeated ourselves, or the first time I've ever repeated myself, and that's an indication, I hope, of the importance of the subject. We first came out with an episode around auto-enrolment over a year ago now, and at that point auto-enrolment was something that seemed a very long way off for an awful lot of our clients. Some of them have already started the scheme, which is called staging, and that's because they have more employees. It's based on the number of employees that you have, and the more employees that you have, the earlier your staging date, and that is the date in which you have to start the auto-enrolment process. Many of our clients will have had probably until the end of 2015, into 2016, and maybe even until 2017 before they have to stage. And that brings with it, that length of time, that lead time, brings with it a certain amount of comfort that actually I don't need to think about it just yet. However, recommendation from the main pension providers is that you start thinking about the process and start speaking to them 12 months before your staging date. Now, you might think that that's an awfully long time. Well, the reason being that as staging falls to those businesses that are smaller with fewer employees, the volume raises massively, and at the peak point there's going to be in excess of 51,000 businesses staging every month. Now, that brings with it a massive admin burden for these businesses that are actually offering the pensions. Consequently, we think that there are going to be lots of people that are struggling to meet their deadlines, and our recommendation is please do not leave it until the last minute. There are big fines and big penalties if you don't start this at the due date. We can't help you. It's not an area that we can get involved in. All we can do is encourage you and cajole you to make sure that you know your staging date, which you can find on the pension regulator's website. All you need to have that, to find that, is your PAYE scheme reference. If you don't have employees, if you are a limited company and you just have directors, you are not exempt. You still have to go through this process. And if you already have a pension scheme in place, it isn't a guaranteed scheme unless you know that it is auto-enrolment compliant. There's no guarantee that it will be, so you do need to get that checked out. And if you speak to your financial advisor who set that up for you, they should be able to confirm that or help you make sure that you do have a qualifying scheme. So my advice this time is please don't ignore auto-enrolment, don't leave it too late. Do make sure that you're speaking to people in plenty of time. We have had advice from businesses who have gone through it, and we haven't yet, but who have, saying they should have started sooner themselves, and that actually it was a massive burden even though they did use the advice around them. So it's not something to be overlooked, it's not something to be ignored. If we can help in any way, do let us know. If you need advice or you need an introduction to financial advisors to speak to try and get a feel for who might be good to help you, then let us know. We do know people. We can't recommend, but we can certainly introduce and give you details of several people who might be able to help you. The big news is don't ignore it. I'll leave you with that thought. Please go away and at least work out what your staging date is so that you know what you're dealing with, and I'll see you very soon.